Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, my name is Mike Liverker. I'm the Vice President of the Lewis County Area Snowmobile Association. And we started doing this quite a few years ago. We kind of copied it from Oneida County Sheriff's, their safety day that they do. And so we started doing it over here. We made it a little bit larger, a little bit bigger. So just get a safe message out. Lewis County is the #1 county in the state that has the most accidents every year. And it'd be nice if we could curb that a little bit, make it a little bit less. And last 10 years, we've had the #1 county in the state for accidents. So last year there was 122 accidents in New York State for the season last year, and we ended up with 29. So we ended up with a good portion of the accidents. And behind us was Old Forge, Herkimer County. And after that, I believe it was Hamilton County. So people can ride, Old Forge, Lewis County, in Oneida, Oswego, hit Jefferson County, and come back through and, back in Old Forge all in the same day. So, it's a big trail system here. So, this thing is to give a safe message out to everybody. There's people here that may speak today with a safe message to remind people out there. We have a family here that lost their son last year over in Oneida County, over in Florence, in a snowmobile accident, and they're going to speak. So I want everybody to take the pledge and remember the word brush. Respect, understanding, safety, stewardship, and honor. So if you remember that when you're out there, we should have a safe season. So far, knock on wood, we haven't had any snowmobile accidents in Lewis County, nowhere, I believe, in the state. Yeah, so we're kind of lucky. This weekend's going to be busy here in Lewis County, especially in Old Forge with the snow deal. So this weekend, we'll pretty much tell the story what's going to happen out there. So Josh Liverker, you want to say anything? The President of the Association?
Well, thanks everyone for coming. Again, I'm Josh Liverker. I'm the President for the Lewis County Area Snowmobile Association. In Lewis County, we have 516 miles that 9 clubs, all volunteers maintain, pretty much starting now until beginning of March, sometimes into the middle part of March. There's 10,500 miles in the state, and out of that last year there was 104,000 snowmobile registrations. So if you think across the state, 10,500 miles, we got 500 of them here in Lewis County. I know Mike mentioned we're kind of the lead on the accidents, but you're taking the riding area in New York State and putting it in Lewis County due to the snowfall. So there's various clubs here today. I know the clubs that are here are up on Tug Hill, grooming, where the big game season has ended, and we've got 2 to 4 foot of snow on the hill, and just trying to go up there. A lot of volunteers work full-time jobs. They have families. Half the volunteers are from out of state. They actually drive up 3, 4, 5 hours and volunteer their time, and have seasonal homes and camps, and end up retiring or eventually living in Lewis County. So it's good for the area. It's I've done it my whole life, from a small sled, kind of evolved into owning a dozen or 15 or so. But you get to meet a lot of good people. You meet families that unfortunately may have lost a loved one, but they share their story and how we can make the sport better. But again, it's a volunteer organization, 100% here in Lewis County, and it's that's all I can say with that. Is a lot of hard work goes into it to make trails flat, safe, and fun. So, thank you.
Old Forge Police Department, you want any safety reminder out there?
Sure.
case I'm okay. It's my first time here for this. I want to thank everybody for putting this together. I mean, riding these trails is a great time, fun time. You know, I talked to B-Chain from the Moose the other day. You know, and I stressed, I know the speed limit's 55 on the trails, but slower is always safer. So we want to make sure, you know, all the agencies are out there enforcing that. And you know, thank you all for coming, and let's have a great season.
New York State Park, please.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Orman with the Park Police, and basically I just want to say to ride safe, stay sober, stay on the groomed trails. Speed is a huge factor, so slow down and ride safe. Thanks everyone for coming.
This is the state park office out of Albany. This is the Snowmobile unit.
So it's Bill Shattuck from New York State Parks, here with Brian Landry from Parks as well, Snowmobile unit. Just wanted to say a few words about the season ahead of us, some general safety messaging. Obviously 10,500 miles worth of trail statewide, a lot of area to patrol, a lot of area to maintain. We couldn't do it without the cooperation of all the clubs and law enforcement. It's a huge effort statewide. So we really appreciate law enforcement, all the clubs, all the volunteer effort, staggering amount of effort and volunteerism. So just want to make sure that we just stress a couple of the top factors for accidents are unsafe speed, operator inattention, operator inexperience. So we at Parks, we do the safety ed certification process. It's mainly geared towards ages 10 to 17 that require the certification, but we encourage anybody that's a novice rider, needs a brush up on operation, maintenance, that kind of thing, to take the course. There's dozens of courses held each year, upwards of 100 courses each year. So we urge anybody that needs that brush up of any age to take those courses. So again, operator inattention, operator inexperience, unsafe speed, those are some of the larger factors. And of course, the higher the snowfall, the more activity there is. So last year with all the snowfall, a lot more activity, 104,000 registrations. That led us to 122 accidents overall. Less fatalities than the year before. So I like to think that enforcement and riders being more cognizant about their surroundings played a factor in that. So I just want to thank everybody for taking safety seriously. We at Parks, we have a lot of programs that we oversee and we coordinate with law enforcement and with anybody that requires either safety certification or our help in coordinating with law enforcement to do briefings or seminars that help the public. So anybody that's interested in us coordinating that kind of thing with law enforcement statewide, let us know. We work with every county that has trails. So I want to thank you all very much. And if anybody has any questions about statistics, came armed with a lot of accident statistics if anybody wants to talk about that. So, thank you.
County Sheriff.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Sergeant Gleason with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Like the other speakers said, basically we want you to ride safe, ride slow, ride sober. Our goal is to basically make the trails a safe place for you and your families to enjoy. And like they said, respect each other, respect the trails, respect the property owners, and respect your own limitations. You know what you can and can't do and what your machine is capable of. And if you do all that, then you probably won't get the chance to encounter any of us. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolly Schroeder, Executive Director of the New York State Snowmobile Association. Thanks for having me here. I want to thank the Branningham Snowmads for hosting the event and Lewis County for putting this on. It is an honor to be here today representing the New York State Snowmobile Association, our 220 member clubs and their dedicated members who develop, mark, maintain, and groom over 10,500 miles in this great snowmobile state. Without the efforts of these industrious volunteers, there would be no trails. The nice and safety message is very simple in form, but there is much more meaning in these simple two words: ride right. Ride right means ride only where and when the trail is open. Ride right means keep to the right side of the trail and between the stakes. Ride right means respect the landowners, stay on the trail, obey speed limits, and do not use loud exhausts. Ride right means respect the other riders and also the other trail users. Ride right means always, always, always ride sober. Ride right means if we all ride right, we all get home tonight. Riding right ensures the future of this sport. For more information, go to the NewYorkStateSnowmobiling.com, and thank you. Think snow, think safe.
Pat Morris.
I'm Patrick Morris. I'm with Lewis County Search and Rescue, and when I show up at the scene, a good day just went really bad. Something that the snowboarders need to remember is sometimes there'll be at least an hour before we can get on scene, and maybe at least another hour before we can get you to a hospital. So it's cold out there, hypothermia, all sorts of wounds. Be safe. Think about the ice conditions. Think about the trees across the trail after a windstorm. And of course, drinking, driving, etc. But we just want you to stay safe out there, and our hands are pretty tied when we're that far away from you, because we got to come from base, we got to drive it in the ambulance, then we've got to find a snowmobile, then we've got to come to you, we have to stabilize you, and then we have to get you all the way back to an ambulance, and then all the way to the hospital. That's a long time, especially if you're hypothermic. Stay safe.
Greg Martin, he'll tell you a story about grooming one day.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Greg Martin. I'm a groomer operator for Turin Ridge Riders. A few years ago, we had a pretty bad incident that happened on Plummer Road. I was coming off North Road in the groomer, and there's a really tight S-turn at that point. Two snowmobilers went through without me waving them on, and they passed me in both corners and then took off in a straightaway down Plummer Road. At that time, I could see, they were going fast. At that time, there was 3 snowmobilers on the side of the trail. One was broke down. 2 others were trying to fix a snowmobile. A few minutes later, I saw a light coming back towards me. I was like, well, what's going on? And sure enough, hands waved in the air. The snowmobiler that was heading towards me was in massive concern. Said that there was a bad crash ahead. I called into dispatch into the county right away because I knew that this was probably not going to be a good situation. And lo and behold, when I arrived, there was snowmobile parts everywhere, people laying everywhere. The snowmobilers that flew past me, I didn't direct them to go past me. They just did it on their own will, and lo and behold, a bad accident happened. So out of this story, it did take EMS about a half an hour, 45 minutes to arrive to us. We getting the people out on a sleigh. It was a devastating bad scene, and it would have just taken an easy yield to groomer operators. Please make sure that you are watching the groomer operator to assure safe passing when the timing is right. So please be safe out there. Look out for the groomers, watch what they're doing, and abide by what they say with hand signals or lights being flashed past even. So, thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Yep. James Mosier, Lewis County Clerk.
Hello everybody, Jake Mosier, Lewis County Clerk. I would like to talk about two things. First thing would be when you come up to visit us, registering your sleds, okay? Please do your homework before you come up. Especially if you're out of state, realize like you're not registering for a New York State sled. We're actually just giving you permission to ride, okay? A lot of the information can be found on our DMV website, or we work closely with NYSA, and a simple phone call to them, they can direct you to our email, to our information where we can help you prepare. Reason I bring this up is a lot of times what we have is individuals coming up and they want to ride that night, and they are rushing into our office where they get delayed, and the delay in our office just creates them to create more of a rush, which a lot of times we bring up, concerns about trail safety because they got places they want to be. The second thing I'd like to bring up is drinking and riding. As a lot of you snowmobilers realize, in my opinion, the penalty for drinking and riding does not match what it should be. So current legislation does not match up what should be a penalty for drinking and riding. There is current legislation on the books to increase this. Okay, and it's my hopes that we're all responsible and we don't realize that the penalty is less than a motor vehicle penalty. And if you're gonna drink, make sure you take the keys out of the sled, have a ride, have a friend to come pick you up, okay? And lastly, I just have to say, I need to thank Branningham Snowmads here, and if you are up here drinking and riding, they have an awesome Winter Fest here coming up in February, where if you want a nice warm pancake breakfast, it's one of the best pancake breakfasts in the county. So if you're cold on the sled, come on up, get a pancake breakfast. Thanks.
Thank you. Lieutenant Snyder, Forest Ranger.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Snyder with the DEC Forest Rangers. I think everybody's pretty much said it all. Ride right, speed, all that stuff. Any 10-year-old taking that snowmobile safety course knows that these are the things to be safe out there in the field. The problem is we have people that think that they're better than that, that's not going to happen to them, that they've been riding sleds for 20 years, they have control. The problem is you do until you don't. Any of these accidents, anything can happen to anybody out there. So just because you think that, because you have the experience that these things can't happen. So again, just a reminder, what we've been hearing all day, ride right, watch your speed, all that stuff really applies to everybody, no matter how good you think you are out there. And that's all I got.
County Sheriff.
My name is Sergeant Jay Sorrentino with United County Sheriffs. I'm in charge of our recreational unit. I guess the only thing that hasn't really been touched on in this is the fact that trail conditions change, trees fall. You may have come through the trail 2 hours earlier, tree goes down, heavy snow, wind, whatever. Slow down, especially if you don't know the trails, and try to ride right, ride safe.
Lewis County District Attorney.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Tompkins. I'm the district attorney here in Lewis County. Probably the biggest thing that comes through our office as far as snowmobiles go are unregistered tickets. We do get a few because of speed and things like that, but I'm also the coroner, and unfortunately, as the gentleman from EMS said, when I show up, it's a really, really bad day for somebody because they're not going home. Unfortunately, last winter, I didn't have to go to a single one. And I'm going to hope, beyond all hope, that that continues. I know that there were some fatalities in a couple of the surrounding counties, but again, like Mike said, we have more accidents here than any other county, but we didn't have any fatalities last year. So let's hope that the accidents can decrease and the fatalities stay the same at 0. Thanks.
Josh Durkee, environmental conservation, please.
My name is Josh Durkee. I am one of the conservation officers here in Lewis County. My message is something else that hasn't been talked about, is the stopping distance on your snowmobiles. Everyone kind of knows what your stopping distance would be on a road or with tires, but we don't have those on snowmobiles, especially if you're going to be going out on the ice. But when we're out there checking ice fishermen, see a lot of people taking their snowmobiles out as well, and they think that the conditions are the same that they would be on the road, but they definitely are not. All right, so make sure you know the ice thickness. First off, those machines are pretty heavy, but if you think you're going to be able to stop the same amount of time that you would be on snow or in your vehicle, it's not the same. So be courteous to the ice fishermen as well. They have tip-ups set out everywhere. Would appreciate you guys slowing down anytime you're going on ice, because there are also times when the ice cracks and lifts up and you get ice breaks, and you're not going to see those, and those would be very detrimental as well. Thank you very much.
Dennis Lee, you got anything you want to say?
One thing, Mike.
Oh, come here.
I'm a local business guy, ride thousands of miles every year, and the biggest thing that I see is people don't expect it. If you always expect it, be careful. Think about what's over the hill, keep your speed down, and just be ready for it. Whether it's a deer, a disabled snowmobile, a coyote hunter, just think about it. Just think about what you're over the hill, and you'll have a lot better ride and safer ride.
Sergeant Bluebird from the Snowmobile Police Department.
I'm Cody Lubert from the Townweb Police Department. I'm a sergeant up there. Between Townweb and Lewis County, I've got 11 years in Townweb, 3 years in Lewis County. I've gone to 1 million snowmobile accidents, and inevitably something bad's going to happen. So when that does happen, most of the time, nobody's got any information on them. So if you go out snowmobiling, especially if it's at night, bring contact information for an emergency contact. Don't rely on your phone. Everywhere's rural. There's nobody that has cell service most places when you're out there, especially in the middle of the night when we're going out 30 miles into the woods for something like that. And the other thing is, to help us out too, is the features on phones now with the crash detections. I don't know if Androids have them, but iPhones definitely do, and we get 1 million false crash detections that come in all the time through 911. Especially on snowmobiles, it's going to happen even more. So if you have that feature, fix it, turn it off, do something. Besides that, have fun.
Gary Groskowski, he's a former landowner of the trail system up in Turin.
I'm Gary Groskowski, former county legislator. I've been involved in the snowmobile industry big time when I was a legislator back then, helping to get the clubs, telling them they had to get organized because they were fighting like cats and dogs back then. And but they did. And the biggest change I've seen over the years is the families are involved more. A lot more kids than they used to be. It used to be just guys. Now it's a lot of women and kids with them. And the sleds have changed so much over the years. They used to go, when I was a kid, we had a sled that went 30 mile an hour. We thought we were flying. Well, now it's 60, 70, 80 mile an hour, and they don't think nothing of it. You got to keep the drinking under control. That's what a lot of these accidents probably have something to do with alcohol. And they don't even realize it, you know. A lot of them are young, don't care, you know. They think they can't get hurt, everybody else, but it won't be me, you know, but it will be, so. And my wife runs a bed and breakfast. It's big business in Lewis County for everybody, the snowmobile industry. A lot of money gets spent. We had people from New York City all the time staying at a place. Yeah, the farthest that came away was from Virginia. Can you imagine driving from Virginia all the way up to Lewis County to go snowmobiling? But they do, and they don't think nothing. They loved it. They rent sleds, and they had a great time. And the biggest thing you have to be careful, a lot of these people get hurt, they hit a tree. They're going so fast and they hit a tree. And the tree is going to win every time. That's just the way it is. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Tammy Nabawanic. I really wasn't late, I just couldn't get in. I'm here for Assemblyman Ken Blankenbush, and I'm here for Senator Walczyk. Spoke with them both this morning. They wanted me to tell you, they wanted me to focus on something different. So I'm going to let the experts talk about safety, and what I'm delivering from them is how much they love the tourism, how much they think that Lewis County is a leader in the state of New York. And it is because of the teamwork that everybody puts in. It's the landowners, it is the EMS, it is the snowmobiling clubs, it's the county, it's the towns, it's the businesses, and at the end of the day, it is our riders who are being responsible, hopefully, so we can keep this coming back year after year. So thank you on their behalf.
First, I'd like to thank all the volunteers that make Gregg and Lewis County a desirable place for all these snowmobilers to come, spend their money. We like that. The other thing I'd like to say is you guys are much more responsible than some of the other clubs that we have. We get so many fewer complaints about the snowmobilers, and that makes, of course, my life a lot easier not having to deal with complaints in the winter. So I thank you for that, and I hope you keep it up. For all you volunteers, since you are bored during the summer and have nothing to do, stop down at Town Hall. I'm sure we can find something for you to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Did I miss anybody else that wants to say something? Okay, the family of Dylan Daly will speak. They lost their son last year up on Dug Hill, actually was in Florence. From Florence.
Hi everybody. I just want to say thank you for having us here today. This is a very difficult thing for us and our family. But we're honored to be here to be able to help other people so your kids and your families make it home safely. In honor of our son Dylan, we have a couple people here with us today. Part of our team, Mike and Heather Connors, my friend Jolene Cressy, and my husband and I. We've created a 501c3 nonprofit to earn money to help you guys get more signs out on your trails, bigger signs, better signs. So
reflective signs.
Also makes the home safer. I'm just going to go through this PowerPoint I put together. This is a kiosk that you'll see out. This is the kiosk you'll see out on the trail system at some of the corners. 46 Corners is the first one that we've placed it at. As we move along through the trail systems, you'll see some of our signs, and then the kiosks will be placed there so you can identify that. This is my son Dylan and his dog Hudson. He was 24 years old. He loved hunting, fishing, the outdoors. He was an amazing child. The best son. And he loved football, and he just got inducted into the Football Hall of Fame in our local town. And he loved snowmobiling, so he says he loved the sport, but he did tell me the weekend before he came up here, Mom, 3 people died. And I said, I should have said, Dylan, what happened? And I didn't ask him why. And I said, just be safe. He says, I'm with my friends. We're all being safe together. We're staying together. I said, okay. So I let him go again. This time he didn't make it home. Okay, I'm just gonna read this. We honor the memory of Dylan, whose love for the outdoors and enjoyment for adventure touched everyone who knew him. In the wake of his tragic passing, our journey is clear to turn grief into action by promoting snowmobile safety and preventing future accidents. Through awareness and advocacy, we strive to make snowmobiling safer for everyone, ensuring that no family experiences such a devastating loss. Dylan's adventurous spirit lives on through every initiative we support. We invite you to join us in celebrating his legacy by making a lasting impact on the snowmobile community. And this is just about us, that we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and our mission is to increase signage out on the trail systems and improve visibility and with the larger signs so we can prevent fatalities. These are an example of the first signs that we made. They're not the correct shape, but they worked for the first set of them. But these signs, 77 of them were made. They were donated on behalf of Dylan's legacy from a company called City Signs. John and Stacy, husband and wife, came to our home, personally delivered them to our family so we can come up and put them out on the trail systems to help make the trails safer, because they too also travel from Pennsylvania and have a home up here, and this is where they'll probably end up retiring and sharing these experiences with their family. This is our team. We have a group of kids that have all of Dylan's friends that come together and help us put everything together and fundraise money so we can make money to give to buy signs. This is our group of volunteers. We had over 40 people come up the last time we were here to help place signs. Here's the trail map you're all familiar with. You have it on your wall. On ours, I do have on our website where it's highlighted the areas that we've placed the signs on the trails. And as we move forward, I'll highlight more areas so they know where the signs are. Southern Tug Hill was so nice as to invite us to come to their club and help us put signs out on their trail. Although we didn't start where the accident happened, they gave us the ability to get out there and make improvements for trails, because all of these trails are traveled by all of us and all of our families. This is just a few pictures of us being out there. We were able to help a couple clubs, 5 clubs so far this year. TC Riders, Turn-In Riders, Southern Tug Hill, Valley Snow Riders, and Osceola. In the beginning, we had just had an idea about increasing signage. So we thought, hey, we'll just order more signs. So we ended up giving a monetary donation to them for the signs they ordered, so they had more to place out on their trail for this year. But going forward, we are able to now make our custom signs and provide them to you. So we have them out on our trails. And the TC Riders have our first kiosk out on their trail system. And, this is actually the turn where my son had his accident. And if you look closely, there are a few signs there. But imagine this, and we've all been there. It's 4 degrees, it's late at night, you're in a hurry, you want to get home. You've been out with your friends, and now it's cold. And now it's cold, and your sleds, maybe it's almost out of gas, who knows, because you've been out riding all day. And the wind is heavy, and it's fast, and the snow is deep, and you just want to get home. And it's dark, because now you're on your way home. And this is how this happened, and you can't see, there's a turn, and then you go off the trail. And now you're off the trail, and you need help. And how do you find help? And there's no cell service, and nobody can find you. So the idea is you stay together, you stay in groups, you ride to the experience of the least experienced rider, you keep the least experienced rider in the middle of your group, and you just stay to the right. These are examples of the signs. The ones on the top without the Dylan's Legacy logo have been approved by the New York State Parks of Office and Recreation. Thank you, Bill. And also the DEC have approved the signs, so we're able to place the signs without the logos out on your trails. The ones with the logos are able to be placed out on landowner trails and private land. But the signs prior to that were approved If we do have a sign that is out there on DEC land, and if you need a replacement sign and the logo taken off and a new sign, please reach out to me. I can exchange the signs out for you. Thank you, and thank you for having us. These are the signs, and I know they look large to you, but this is the chevrons, and these are 1/8 aluminum composite. They are reflective. You will see it, and you will not miss your direction. And they'll be out on your trails. Thank you.
Father Sam Lundy will give a blessing, and right after this, I want to go outside. It's not snowing. I want to take a group picture out by the Branningham's groomer and the State Snowmobile Association's trailer that's out there. Then you can take off, come back. They got some pizza for you. You can come back in. So, appreciate it.
A few years ago, after I was appointed a chaplain for the sheriff's office, I kind of liked this snowmobile idea, so I contacted my bishop, who was in Toronto and believes that I am absolutely the end of the world. And I said, Bishop, I think it would be very nice if I had a snow sled. He's a very wise old man. And he said, well, now tell me, Father, do they sell raffle tickets in your area for snowmobiles? And I said, well, yes. And he said, well, how much are they? Well, I said, I think they run around $10. Well, he said, I'll have my secretary send you $20. You buy 2 tickets. If God wants you to have a snow sled, you'll win. Would you stand with me? Almighty God and Father, we give thanks for this, our beloved Lewis County, and the recreational opportunities that come to us with each changing season. Today, our focus is snowmobiling, and our prayer is for safety and good judgment for all of those who ride the trails. We give a special thanks today for Michael, our sheriff, for our special friend, Michael, who keeps us all organized, and for all of our sheriff's office, DEC personnel, and New York State police officers that strive to keep us safe. We also ask thy blessing on our emergency services workers, both fire and EMS, who stand by to assist us when the need occurs, under the direction of Robert, our emergency management director. And especially today, we remember Dylan and all who rest with you, O Lord. And may the blessing of God Almighty be upon all here today and all those who will join us on the trails this winter. Amen. Amen.
I got one question.
You mentioned earlier about snowmobile accidents tending to rank in the top tier in New York State here in Lewis County, but would it be safe maybe for you to iterate the fact that most of the snow comes across on Tug Hill, Lewis County area, thus resulting in more sled traffic, or?
Yeah, that's correct. Lewis County is like the hub of the wheel. When you come in from Jefferson County, Oswego County, Town of Webb, but Lewis County is actually the hub of the big wheel. That's why we get so impacted here so much. To answer your question?
That's all.
Okay. So if we can take a picture out there, you can come back in, whatever, and get some pizza.